Hello students, let us discuss the next part of the lesson, the Indian Constitution. So yesterday we have discussed about the Constitution. So what is the meaning of Constitution? Constitution is a book of rules. Okay, a constitution is a set of rules for the government. So every duties and rights of the people and authority written in the book. Okay, next part, the Constituent Assembly. So to prepare a constitution, so we selected some people from different parts of the country. Okay, that is the group of people are called the Constituent Assembly. So the constitution was drafted by an assembly of elected representatives called the Constituent Assembly. So some people were elected to prepare a constitution. So how they elected? Through elections. Those were elected through elections. Elections to the Constituent Assembly were held in July 1946. Before independence only we started preparing constitution. Its first meeting was held in December 1946. With the partition of the country in August 1947, so the Constituent Assembly was also divided into the Constituent Assembly of India and that of Pakistan. So before bifurcation, so people of both the areas were selected. So after bifurcation, so the people belongs to Pakistan made separate Constituent Assembly, and people belongs to the elected members belong to India made another Constituent Assembly to prepare the constitutions. The Indian Constituent Assembly had 299 members. So how many members were elected? 299 members were elected for prepare the constitution. The assembly adopted the constitution on 26th November 1949, but it came into effect from 26th January 1950. So the preparation of constitution was completed before 26th November and adopted means accepted by our leaders on 26th November 1949, but it came into effect from 26th January 1950. Why we have waited up to 26th January 1950? So previously on 26th January, so our leaders were announced Purna Swaraj. So the 26th January has more importance. That's why from November to January we have waited, and 26th January as declared as the Republic Day. Okay, so to mark this day we celebrate January 26th as Republic Day every year. We are in month of January. Okay, so if the schools are open, we are going to celebrate 26th January in our school definitely. Okay, next. The members of the Constituent Assembly were elected mainly by the members of the existing provincial legislatures formed during the British rule. So those were not elected by the people. So these Constituent Assembly members were elected by the Constituent Assembly were elected mainly by the members of the existing provincial legislatures formed during the British rule. Some of the members were nominated by the kings, those were not elected, and its members came from all the regions of the country. So, to discuss the problems, to explain the problems of those regions, so those were elected. The assembly was dominated by the members of the Indian National Congress Party, and there were very few members of other parties like Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, of course. So most of the leaders were joined in National Congress at the time of national movement. So that's why all are belongs to National Congress Party. Even though most members were from the same party, most of them held very different views on most issues. So even though those were not compromised, those were not blindly supported to their members. So all members are having their own views. They expressed their own views. Sometimes they opposed the same party members also. Okay, so there were very few women, just about 15 out of 299. So 15 women delegates were elected. Srimati Durgabai Deshmukh was one of them. Okay, here you can see her. She is the Durgabai Deshmukh. Another one is Sarojini Naidu, N.G. Ranga, T. Prakasham, Tanguturi Prakasham. So those were the members of the Constituent Assembly. So first some basic principles were decided and agreed upon. So to prepare a constitution, so we should have some idea. So that's why first of all they found the basic principles. What are those? First one is the India will be a sovereign republic. What is the meaning of sovereign? So no one should be involved in the internal affairs of the any country. So India should be independent. And republic. Republic means that should be ruled by public. So they don't want to allow the king rule again. That it will be have within several states with autonomous powers. So what are the states merged with the India? Several states should have the autonomous powers, means independent. Clear? Next. That it will be democratic. So the countries who got independence at the time of 1950, so those took different form of governments, but we took the democratic government. Already we discussed what is the meaning of democratic government in the previous class. Okay, that it will be secure justice, equality and freedom to all citizens. Next, that the interest of minorities, tribals and depressed classes will be safeguarded, and that India will work for world peace and welfare of all mankind. So it is more important. So we are guiding world so many times. Now in these crucial conditions, COVID-19 time also, we are providing medicine to whole world. Okay, like that. So always we are guiding the world, all the countries. So next, this is called the objectives resolution, and it was moved by Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India. So these became the guiding principles for drafting the constitution. Later, while discussing, they added so many points in the constitution and they some removed. Okay, so these are the basic idea to prepare the constitutions. Then a drafting committee chaired by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar prepared a draft constitution for discussions. So with the help of other people, finally they prepared one rough, means draft uh, constitution they prepared. So for discussion, so several rounds of thorough discussion took place on the draft constitution, clause by clause and point by point. So before accepting the constitution, so every point which is written in the draft constitution was discussed thoroughly, clause by clause. So there were intense debates on all important provisions. So all the members sat at one place and those were discussed, and the intense debate took place to discuss those issues. They were examined from different points of view, and finally decision were taken by majority vote. So after discussion, so they conducted the voting on those issues. So later only those were accepted. More than 2000 amendments to the draft constitution were considered. So at the time of preparing the constitution, they changed different points. They added more points. Okay, and they did the amendment. Amendment means changes. They did the changes. More than 2000 changes they made for constitution. After 1950 also, we made so many amendments. That much flexibility is there in our constitutions. Next, the members deliberated for 114 days, spread over 3 years. Every word spoken in the Constituent Assembly has been recorded and preserved. These are called Constituent Assembly debates. So now also those are available. Okay, next here we can see the pictures. So all Constituent Assembly members signed on an illustrated version of the Constitution. Here you can see Jawaharlal Nehru signing the Constitution. Okay, next, the dream and the promise. So let me begin by understanding the overall philosophy of what our constitution is all about. So what are the aim of our constitution we should understand. Okay, so many people explained about this, and the preamble of the constitution states its philosophy. What is the meaning of preamble? Preamble means the first page of the constitution is called a preamble. It can explain our aims and state its philosophy also. Some of you can understand by reading the views of our leaders. So in that Constituent Assembly, Mahatma Gandhi was not participated. He was not a member of the Constituent Assembly, but he was guided to all the people to prepare the constitution. Okay, in his words. So writing in the magazine Young India in 1931, he had spelt out what he wanted the constitution to do. So these are the words of the Mahatma Gandhi. I shall strive for a constitution which will release India from all thraldom and patronage. I shall work for an India in which the poorest shall feel that it is their country, in whose making they have an effective voice. An India in which there shall be no high class and low class of people. An India in which all communities shall live in perfect harmony. There can be no room in such an India for the curse of untouchability or the curse of the intoxicating drinks and drugs. Women will enjoy the same rights as men. I shall be satisfied with nothing else. So Mahatma Gandhi guided by his words. Okay, how the constitution should be. Okay, this dream of an India without inequality was shared by Dr. Ambedkar, who played a key role in the making of the constitution. So but he had a different understanding of how inequalities could be removed. So there were so many inequalities are there in our society. In his concluding speech to the Constituent Assembly, he stated his anxiety very clearly. So on the 26th of January 1950, we are going to enter life of contradictions. So after accepting the constitutions, so we are entering into the life of contradictions. In politics, we will have equality, and in social and economic life, we will have inequality. So he stated that which equality is there in our country? In politics, we are having equality, but in social and economic life, we don't have any equality. In politics, we will be recognizing the principle of one man, one vote, and one vote having one value. In our social and economic life, we shall, by reason of our social and economic structure, continue to deny the principles of one man, one value. Now, also, much difference is there between the people in economy. How long shall we continue to live this life of contradictions? How long shall we continue to deny equality in our social and economic life? If you continue to deny it for long, we will do so only by putting our political democracy in peril. So, if there is no equality in economy, so there is no use. He said there is no use. Okay. Next. Finally, let us turn to Jawaharlal Nehru giving his famous speech to the Constituent Assembly in the stroke of midnight on August 15, 1947. That future is not one of ease or resting but of insistent striving so that we may fulfill the pledges we have so often taken and the one we shall take today. The service of India means the service of the millions who suffer. It means the ending of poverty and ignorance and disease and inequality of opportunity. The ambition of the greatest man of our generation has been to wipe every tear from every eye that may be beyond us, but as long as there are tears and suffering, so long our work will not be over. So, like that, so all famous leaders delivered their words on the Constitution. Okay, next, preamble of the Constitution. Already we have discussed what is the meaning of preamble. The first page of the Constitution is called the preamble. So the values that inspired and guided the freedom struggle formed the foundation for India's democracy. These values are embedded in the preamble of the Indian Constitution, which is a short statement of its basic principles and objectives. They guide all the provisions of Indian Constitution. So, the preamble explains the philosophy or aims of the Constitution. Let us read the preamble of our Constitution very carefully and understand the meaning of each of its keywords. Okay. Next, think of some examples in the context of each of the terms mentioned here. So read carefully. We the people of India, having resolved to constitute India into a republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity, give ourselves this constitutions. So our Constitution of India started with these words, we the people of India. So let us discuss the meaning of these keywords. Okay, so first one is we the people of India. What is the meaning of this? The Constitution has been drawn up and enacted by the people through their representatives. So who prepared these Constitution? So the members of the Constituent Assembly. So those members were elected by the legislature members. So those legislature members were elected by the people. So that's why here that was accepted by the people. So and not handed down to them by a king or any outside powers. This is an assertion of the democratic nature of our republic. So that's why so all powers are in the hands of the people based on the constitution. Next, what is the meaning of republic? The head of the state is the elected person and not a hereditary position as in a kingdom. So that is the meaning of republic. So the rulers should be elected by the people. The country should be elected by the representative who are elected by the people. Next, sovereign. India will have supreme right to take decisions on internal as well as external matters and make her own laws. No external power can make laws for India. That is the meaning of sovereign. So, in previously at the time of Kashmir issue, when the 370 article was abolished, so Pakistan asked remaining countries to intervene in that issue, but all the country people said that that is the internal issue of the India. So we should not intervene. So like that here we included that word in our preamble, in our constitution. We don't allow any third person, any other second person intervene into our internal issues. That is the meaning of sovereign. Next, socialist. So this was taken from the Russian constitution. So wealth is generated socially by all through their work and it should be shared equally by all. The country should strive to reduce and end all kinds of inequalities, but we are not achieving this. Okay, so according to this, our country is semi-socialist and semi-capitalistic. So the capitalistic characteristics are dominating in our country. So our wealth is going to few hands. Okay, next, secular. The government will not be run on the basis of any religion. Citizens will have complete freedom to follow any religion or no religion at all. Government will not favor any religion. So religion should not intervene in the affairs of the government. So we should not give any importance to any religion. We should not support to any religion. That is the meaning of secular. So because of secular, our country is a secular country. That's why we are giving more importance to all other religion people. So that's why different religion peoples like Christians, Muslims, Jain, okay, Buddhists, Parsis, Sikh, and some other religion people are living without fear in our country. When you go to other countries, in America, in some Muslim countries, in some other countries also, the minority people are not safe. But in India, including the majority Hindus, remaining minority people also having same rights as per our constitution. There is no difference between the people. That is the meaning of secular. So remaining keywords we will discuss in the next class. Thank you.